Robert Wagner, and I'm chair of the UETN board. I'd like to welcome members of the board to this meeting this afternoon, as well as members of the UETN staff and any visitors who might be joining or viewing the recording. I would like to note that in lieu of two board members, we do have two individuals here who are serving as proxies, and I would like to recognize that we have Amanda Rock, who I believe is here on behalf of Chandra Johnson, and so appreciate Amanda being here. And then we also have Nathan Gerber, who is here serving as proxy for Christina Baum. So thank you very much to those two individuals. According to Denise's notes as well as mine, we have a sufficient number of board members here to proceed with our action items. We have two action items this afternoon. The first is to approve the hiring of UETN's new CEO and executive director. Before we do that, I would like to just take a moment to remind members of the board the process that we have followed that has helped us to arrive at this point. If you remember, about 4 months ago, the board approved the formation of a search committee, and the members of that search committee, just as a reminder, were myself as search chair, Steve Hess, Chandra Johnson, and Tad Morley. Those were members of the search committee that represented the board. And then members of the search committee that represented UETN staff are Jim Stewart, Laura Hunter, and Lisa Kuhn. And I would like to just take a moment to recognize these individuals for all of their effort. The last 4 months has required an extensive amount of work as we have proceeded through the search process, which is including reviewing applications, multiple rounds of interviews, as well as arranging for town hall meetings and polls and input from staff, from advisory council members, as well as members of this board. So once again, I would like to thank my fellow search committee members for all of their efforts. They have just done an outstanding job, and it's been a real pleasure for me to associate with them. I would also like to thank Ann Buffington and Danny Baum, who represented the University of Utah Human Resources Department. Both Ann as well as Danny did a phenomenal job, and we consulted them on a regular basis, clear from the start, to make sure that this search proceeded in an orderly and an appropriate way. And they just were an amazing support to us. So I would just like to recognize both of them. But we have arrived at the point now where the search committee, which this board tasked with bringing back a recommendation, we have by a unanimous vote arrived at a nomination that we would like to bring to this board, and that's the search committee would like to present the name of Spencer Jenkins as the next UETN CEO and executive director. With that recommendation from the search committee, I will entertain a motion at this time to hire Spencer Jenkins as UETN's next CEO and executive director.
I'll make a motion to approve Spencer as the next executive director.
Thank you, David for making that motion. Is there a second?
With much reluctance, because Spencer is a good colleague at our organization, but he'll still be connected. I will second that motion.
Before we vote, Robert, would you mind
Jarrett.
just quick give us a little information about Spencer before we vote? Just
Sure.
a
Yes.
quick bio.
Yeah. In fact, what I was going to do was I was going to take the motion in second and then open it up for discussion. So thank you very much, Scott. As far as Spencer's background, and I would of course invite members of the search committee who are on this call to weigh in as well. Spencer currently serves as Associate Commissioner for the Utah System of Higher Education. Spencer has extensive experience both within the Commissioner's Office as well as multiple state agencies. He has degrees from the University of Utah. Has worked on Capitol Hill with legislative affairs for a number of years, and really impressed, of course, the search committee with his extensive experience and work history.
Great.
Other
I'll second.
question-
Still waiting for one.
Great. Thank you. Other discussion or questions? Can I
I'd like
just
to say
add?
that Spencer
please.
just has lots of integrity and is a good person as well.
Thank you, Patty. I was just going to jump in during this discussion phase and say how challenging of a search this was because of the number of absolutely qualified and professional candidates right up to the end. The candidates did not make the search committee's job very easy. It was just a real pleasure getting to know the candidates that moved through the process and truly respecting all of their work. So, other questions or comments? Well, hearing none, we will proceed with a vote. And because of the significance of this vote, I've asked Denise to record each board member's vote. So I'm not going to do a roll call. Rather, what I invite you to do is when I call for a vote, if you can either raise your real hand or raise an emoji thumbs up or hand long enough for Denise to be able to record your vote. I'd like to make sure that we get all of the votes recorded by individual. So with that, all in favor of hiring Spencer Jenkins as UETN's CEO and Executive Director, would you please raise your hand? And please, once again, keep them up as Denise is writing furiously to record your votes. And Denise, just let me know when you're ready.
I have them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any opposed who vote in opposition to that motion? Well, thank you very much. The motion passes, and appreciate once again your support. We now have a second action item. The second is Spencer Jenkins has indicated that his start date will be July 11th. There is some lag between Dr. Ray Timothy's last day, which is June 30th, and when Spencer will be able to start his new responsibility, specifically July 1st to July 10th. So I would like to propose to this board that Steve Hess serve as interim executive director with his responsibilities with the University of Utah and its relationship to and its support relationship to UETN, that Steve has served as interim executive director from July 1st to July 10th. And I would entertain a motion as such.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Jared. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Tad. Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor, and we don't need Denise to do a vote by a name on this, but all in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. Any opposed? Thank you. The motion passes. Steve, just on behalf of the board, we'd like to thank you for your service as interim executive director. We know that you have a tremendous amount of responsibilities for both USHE and, of course, the University of Utah. So thank you very much for your willingness to serve in that capacity.
You're welcome.
That concludes our 2 action items. It would be bad of me, though, to not recognize once again Dr. Ray Timothy, who is who was on this call. We had the opportunity, if you remember last week, to honor Ray and show our appreciation to him, but it wouldn't be right to close this meeting without Ray once again thanking you for all of your wonderful and devoted service, not only to UETN, but to the state of Utah in your various professional capacities. So thank you for just a job well done. And you certainly have the appreciation. I believe I can speak for the board and say you have the appreciation of this board.
Well, thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. And I just want to thank everyone once again. It's been a real pleasure to work with you and to get to know all of you, and your dedication and your willingness to serve as members of the board has been phenomenal. So thank you very much. I really look forward to retirement, but I know I'm going to miss. So thank you.
Thank you. Please, Tad.
Ray couldn't be there last week, but wish you the very best and thank you. And I would just like to say, Robert, is the chairman of the search committee. You have been absolutely phenomenal, and the time that you've devoted to this is incredible, and the professionalism that this search was conducted in is remarkable, and it's under your leadership. So thank you.
Thank you, Tad.
I second that as well. Robert, you've done an outstanding job. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, we just by way of information, we will be getting some information out to members of the board about the potential strategic planning retreat that is scheduled to take place in August. We're going to give Spencer a chance to weigh in on if that takes place and how that will take place. If you can continue to reserve all day on your calendars for that meeting, it's August 12th. And if that changes, we will let you know, but if you can please continue to hold that. The other information item is I appreciate Susan Cohen. She will be making a press release here this afternoon announcing the decision of this board. So it will now, it is now public, and word will get out, and appreciate Susan. We don't like doing that necessarily on a Friday, but with Monday being a state holiday as well, we thought it best to send it out this afternoon. So anything else that anyone would like to bring up?
Yes, Dr. Wagner, in addition, it is being passed on at this very moment, that it will be right up on our website very soon.
Wonderful. Thank you. And we'll have an email that will be going out to all of the UETN staff and advisory board and board members as well this afternoon. And Denise will be sending that out. So Any other questions or comments? Well, once again, thank you all for taking time this afternoon, especially before a holiday weekend, but I'm sure you can appreciate just how important of a meeting this has been. So with that, I wish you all a wonderful holiday weekend, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
A motion to
adjourn. Thank you. Second? A second. Thank you, Scott. All in favor, please raise your hands. The motion passes. We will adjourn. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.